Hello, everyone. I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the episode of What If Season 3 of What If 1872. So, this takes place in the Old West in America, and apparently during this time, this is when Chinese immigrants were coming to America and they were being used as labor to build the railroad tracks. So, Shang-Chi and his sister obviously were living in China. His sister found out that a lot of the Chinese immigrants were disappearing and were apparently disappearing because of some sort of they didn't know if it was a monster or just a fairy tale or a story just being told in general, or just a bad guy called the Hood. So she goes out to look for him. But at some point, she gets either captured or disappears after the Hood comes through where she was staying. So Shang-Chi comes and begins to be a vigilante protecting um, Chinese immigrants from the Hood. Although he's never met the Hood or seen the Hood, the idea was he was basically trying to protect everyone. He teams up with none other than Kate Bishop, who is Hawkeye. She's a sharpshooter with pistols, and she's never missed. So we get to see them fight together. We get to see that she doesn't just kill people, she also disarms them as well, which I thought was kind of cool. And apparently, the only way he gets summoned, meaning Shang-Chi, is that he hears 10 rings of a bell and he'll come running, which I find to be hilarious. So he beats them up and then begins to look around. They find a little boy who is claiming that he saw what the Hood did, and they're like, well, what happened? He goes, well, they took everyone and put him on a ghost train. And they're like, a ghost train? He goes, yeah, they went that way. And Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop are kind of like, there's no tracks there. He goes, but that's where he went. So they go to this big cavern to kind of see the overview of everything. And come to find out, there is a train. I wouldn't call it a ghost train, but it's a train that has no tracks, and it basically hovers through the desert. So they begin to ride over, get onto the train. They find many of the Chinese immigrants who are basically in a trance, and they find a southern man who was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, who was apparently using his influence and working with the Hood to try to make as much money as possible. So the little kid gets away and runs away, while Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop agree to sit down and wait for them to find the Hood. So he orders the rest of the men to kill the boy. While the boy's on the roof of the train, he begins to try to get away from the sharpshooters that are after him. And that's when Uta basically flicks his finger and causes the armed men to fall off, and the kid is safe. We then get to where the Hood is, and Shang-Chi begins to fight the Hood, who has many abilities, obviously a great fighter, but also has the abilities of teleportation and things of that nature. So they begin to fight. Kate Bishop, however, is being manipulated by the southern guy, who's apparently using his watch to keep everyone in trance. And so because of that, everyone's kind of in this deep trance, and she's unable to fight it. And he's letting Kate Bishop know that the Hood wasn't the one that killed her family; it was actually him, and that he's going to be glad to kill her with her own mother's gun. That's when the bell rings and stops everyone from being in the trance, and Kate Bishop breaks free. And then we have Shang-Chi beating up the Hood, who then finds out that the Hood is actually his sister. So he then tries to break her out of it, and she's not listening. That's when Kate Bishop comes, shoots the Hood several times. The Hood comes off of her, and she basically returns herself back to normal. And he's holding her in his arms and is sad that she's dying. But the Hood, that was basically the magic of it all, floated away and flew away. Kate Bishop takes the guy who killed her family and puts him into a jail cell, or brings him into basically. We don't see him actually get put into jail, but she basically corrals him and gets him ready to be sent to a prison. And then she apologizes to Shang-Chi that she was the one that killed his sister, and he's like, no, the Hood killed my sister because the Hood had taken over. And the episode ends with the two of them teaming up together to be vigilantes in the Wild West. And that's how the episode ends. So in this one also we have Uatu getting captured by the other Watchers, because he's being punished for interfering too many times into the universe. And that's how the episode ends. So this episode was decent. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it definitely wasn't the worst. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.